So now we're going to go back through the PowerPoint and answer the questions that we had discussed. So in map A, which religion was it? Christianity or Buddhism? So we know that Buddhism started from the Asian continent. So this would be an accurate representation of how Buddhism had spread. Okay, this would be Christianity, the spread of Christianity. And we saw on the map how Christianity had spread here in Europe first and then later on in other places, okay, down in Africa and stuff. Okay, all right. So this was the next slide that we had a question. Does this religion seem to be a world religion? And it was about the worship of an ancient Egyptian god named Hapi. Now, he was the god or their god for the Nile River. Okay, so would this be a world religion? No, this would not be a world religion because it is dependent geographically on the Nile River. So if you did not live by the Nile, or you were nowhere near the Nile, like say you were in the Indus Valley or the Yellow River Valley, you would not know who Hapi is. Okay, so this does not show you what a world religion is. It's not an example of a world religion because it is geographically contained. All right, so then we looked at these three maps, okay? We knew this map of the ancient river civilizations. We knew the map of the early empires, okay? And then we looked at how this related to the start of, or what they believe is the start of different religions. So, world religions usually developed and really were fostered in places where the empires were already established, right? So you did not find a world religion here, for example, or here, okay, or here, okay? So a lot of times they were in the regions where there were already empires. So here we know that the different empires that were in this location, okay? Now, then we looked at this map. Now, if you read the key, it said Christian missions and Buddhist missions, okay? So, what does this mean? Buddhist missions and Christian missions. Now, those who are going to do Christianity on their project will talk a lot about missions and what they are, okay? But what missions are in a nutshell are when people basically go out and do da'wah, right? So these are people that go out for the purposes of spreading their religion. Okay, so how do you think that these religions spread? They spread through people carrying their religions and spreading their religions through missions. Okay, now there's another way religions spread, and that is basically through trade. So when we looked at the next slide, we said that people carry a new religion from place to place. They often took with them a writing system, trade goods, and art styles. Okay, now another thing that they could do was on a mission, usually their main purpose is to spread their religion. That's their main goal. However, traders, their main goal is to trade, is economy, right? They want to buy from you, you want to buy from them. But sometimes through trade goods, religions can spread as well. Okay, so it's not necessarily for missions, but it is for trade. Okay, it just so happens that, people may ask a Muslim trader, for example, oh, they see him praying, so then he gives them da'wah about it. But his purpose there is not necessarily to do da'wah, it is to trade. Okay? So that's another way that religions spread. So I will take a look at this answer on your worksheet, one new idea that you learned. And then when it comes to these questions, I asked you to answer the first question and the last question. What was the connection between world religions and empires? So that was basically what we talked about in those previous maps. Basically, world religions kind of fostered and thrived in empires, and they had a lot of the things that we need for a world religion to be established. So, for example, they had a lot of people, they had the technologies to build places of worship, they had basically the structure and the social structure for people to learn from each other. They were not nomadic all the time, where people may run into you or may not. Okay, so those are things that were empires that basically helped world religions be established in those locations. How did world religions affect empires? So when we think about a world religion, okay, we think about religion, religions has particular rules. right? And instructions of how to live one's life, okay? So that affected empires because one, it gave them a little bit more structure or a source of structure, right? And also, it also helped in the spread of those different religions. So people, for example, in the Crusades, when the Christians were trying to fight the Muslims or the different religions out there, it affected empires because once they had occupied a new land, remember, empires had a lot of militarism, okay? Once they occupied a new land, they brought their religion with them. And sometimes it showed them that basically, that we were not the same. We believe different things, right? So world religions affect empires by also affecting their laws and their rules and their spread.